Hi everyone, today I am going to tell you a short story from Mahabharata series, and the name of the story is Jatugriha. So let me begin. As usual, King Janmejaya was very curious to know about the Jatugriha and the escape of Pandavas. So he requested Rishi Vaishnavan to narrate the story. So Rishi Vaishnavan started his narration. Hearing the energy and power of Pandavas, King Dhritarashtra was very much puzzled. And adding to his anxiety, Duryodhana started gossiping with his father against the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra actually didn't like this. Somehow, he tried his best to convince his son, but he couldn't. And Duryodhana repeatedly asked his father to banish the Pandavas or to kill them, to destroy them forever. When he said, Dhritarashtra thought for a while, and once again he tried to convince his son and said, O Duryodhana, do not think any evil thought, any evil act against Pandavas. Pandu owned the heart of all the subjects and also Pitamaha Bhisma, Vidura and me by his noble and good behavior. And that is why only he was loved by all. He always was dutiful and he was ever ready to listen to my commands. And he was quite skilled and virtuous, never detached from the path of dharma. And the same thing is shown by Yudhishthir. He is also virtuous and never detached from the path of dharma. Everybody loves Pandavas. So if you do any act against them, then you will be counted as a low grade person by Pitamaha Bhisma and Vidura and even by Drona. So please do not do anything against them. And however, if Yudhishthira would be the king, there is nothing wrong. Now, Duryodhana didn't like his father's idea. He said, O father, because of your blindness, Pandu became the king. Now, if Yudhishthira becomes king, then after him, his son, then his son, and his son will go on. And there is no end. And we will never get the royal line. We will be detached, we will be deprived from this royal line forever. We can never ascend the throne in future. So, father, kindly you do something, at least for my sake. Either you destroy them, kill them, or banish them. He said, and he went away. Dhritarashtra was too much worried, listening the evil words of Duryodhana. He loved his children very much, and at the same time he also loved Pandavas. But these words of Duryodhana haunted him much. He was confused. And again, after some time, again Duryodhana came and said, O father, you can banish them means all the Pandavas, with their mother to Varunavata by some gentle means, so that nobody will doubt us or nobody will blame you. Then Dhritarashtra again thought for a while, and he was too much confused. He thought that he should call someone and for consultation. So at last he called Kanika, the minister of Subala. Kanika was very famous for his politics, and he was a good politician. At last he came and said to King Dhritarashtra, "O Lord of Kings, listen to me very carefully. What should be followed by a king?" Then he started. A king should be always with scepter, and they should always extend their prowess. By killing a harmful foe is always praiseworthy. Never let the enemy be escaped. And remember one thing, a spark of fire in the forest can destroy the whole forest in due time. So, never let the enemies be escaped. Destroy them by conciliation or by expenditure of money or by creating disunion among his allies. And be watchful always, like a herd of deer sleeping in the jungle. And when you will find an enemy, then kill them without any mercy. So, telling all these things, he told Dhritarashtra a story of a tiger, a mongoose, and a jackal. Then again he said, destroy the enemies by curses or by curses or by curses, by gift of wealth, or by poison, or by deception. Then he said, a man who has never met calamity can never have prosperity. And be careful about your action. Like when you should do the act in such a way that neither your friend or foe can come to know about your act before the commencement of the act. Let them know after the act is commended. There is no problem. But otherwise, try your best that they will not come to know about your intention. And secondly, you should be alerted all the time. And after saying all these things, Kanika said, O Dhritarashtra, save your family and save yourself from Pandavas. He said all these things and then he went away. Kanika went away, but Dhritarashtra became very pensive and sad. He couldn't decide what to do, because in one side Duryodhana was imposing again and again to go against Pandavas, And now Kanika had said so many things, so he couldn't decide what to do. He was very much worried. So here Duryodhana, Karna, Dusasan and Mama Sakuni, they started their plan, the conspiracy, how to kill the Pandavas. And they told about their plan to their trustworthy person, Purochana, a cook. However, once in the and at last Dhritarashtra became a victim of Duryodhana's evil words. He agreed to his proposal and agreed the plan also. Now one day in the royal court, some cunning ministers, well instructed by Dhritarashtra, started saying that Varunabhata was one of the most charming places where the festival of Lord Pasupati had begun. And they just went on saying so many things about Varunabhata that Yudhishthir and the other Pandavas, they also became very desirous to see the place. Taking this opportunity, Dhritarashtra immediately called Yudhishthir and said, "O Yudhishthir, if you are so desirous to see Varunabhata, you should go with all your fellow men and the followers and Mother Kunti and stay there, enjoy your life there like celestials, and stay as many days as you wish, and then you can come back to Hastinapur." While he said all these things, Yudhishthir could understand his motive. He understood with what intention Dhritarashtra, his father, was telling all these things. Not only Yudhishthir, Vidura also came to know about their evil mind and their trick. Few days later, Vidura told everything about their trick to Pitamaha Bhishma, but secretly. So only these two fellows, Vidura and Pitamaha Bhishma, knew about the plan of Duryodhana. Anyways, at last their journey, they prepared themselves for going to Varunabhata. And when the people of Hastinapur came to know, they screamed and they shouted at, they just cried out how Dhritarashtra could think this disaster. I mean, how he could think about the Varunabhata. Why the Pandavas will go there? So they didn't like the proposal of Dhritarashtra. They said that this is nothing but the conspiracy against Pandavas. So when Pandavas began their journey, they bowed down before all their elders, Pitama Bhishma, Vidura, Drona, and other scions of Kuru race, and took the farewell from them, and then they started their journey. And the people of Hastinapur also followed them to a certain distance. They told Yudhishthir to take all of them or to stay back in Hastinapur. Yudhishthir was very generous and he consoled them with very soft words and assured them that he would come back again. Nothing to worry about it. At last, people returned back to their home. Here, Duryodhana asked Purochan to go to Varunavat in advance. He had already given all the instructions, what to do, how to do. So Purochan went to Varunavata in advance. He reached there first before Pandavas. When Pandavas reached at Varunavata, people of Varunavata were so happy. They received them with full love ceremony and they became very happy. After few days living in one house, then Purochana took them to that house which was built by him. The house was completely built by inflammable materials like jute, lac, camphor, ghee, oil, whatever possible, all the highly inflammable materials the house was built. And outside, if anyone would see, they couldn't come to know anything. It looked so beautiful and so luxuriously it was built, nobody could guess anything. And the master plan was, when they would fall asleep, at that time they will set fire on it, which would be taken as an accident. So naturally, nobody would blame Kauravas or any Duryodhana, Kauravas or Dhritarashtra. They would think that it is just an accident. That was their master plan. But Yudhishthir could come to know, and before their coming to Varunavata, Vidura told him, warned him again and again in Mlecha language that, "O Yudhishthir, be careful in every step, be watchful, and take care of Mother Kunti and all other Pandavas." And in the same Mlecha language, Yudhishthira replied him. So when they came the new city, Kunti asked Yudhishthir, "Oh Yudhishthir, while we came, Vidura told you something in Mlecha language which I couldn't, and I think nobody could understand. Can you tell me what he said?" Then Yudhishthir said, "Oh mother, Vidura warned all of us to be very careful, and this house is made up of highly inflammable materials. So day, night, we should be very careful." Not only that, Vidura sent a skilled man, a mining man, to dig a tunnel from the palace to the jungle. And he did it. And he did it secretly. Nobody came to know about this. Again, Yudhishthir called Bhimsen and told him, "O Bhim, you behave, everybody behave like, all of you behave like we don't know anything. Don't give any chance of suspicion. Otherwise, they will be alerted. So they may kill us instantly. So behave as if you don't know anything. And we should always be careful." And all the Pandavas and Kunti agreed. They stayed there and they behaved nicely and they became so happy. Looking at that, Purochana became happy. Okay, now they didn't know all this plan. Somehow they did all the plan. Everything had happened. But how they escaped, that I will tell you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening.